Sorry about that little interruption there. We are back at the exact same spot we left. What I was talking about was getting Olivia on the board, and then I may put Decimator out to use the Berserk and Trampling. At this point, I'm going to get everything out there. Not too worried about everything. So, put Olivia out on the board. The best way to go about using her and putting creatures on the board is to put one creature at a time out there. Because then you only discard one card from your hand. I mean, obviously it's ideal if you could just get every creature out there, blow your opponent away and win the game, but that's not always the case. And it's even less positive when they kill her. So we're going to switch up our game plan a little. Get Samet out there with some Berserking. And obviously the +4/+4. So she'll be nice and big and be able to kill everything. Now we did lose a little bit of life. If the game stays the way it is right now, which it's not going to, but anyways, if I don't lose very much life, I will just jump right into the next match. Now I am still trying to get the rest of my creatures on the board. Samet's ability is giving the next creature on the board double strike. Love that ability. It's pretty awesome to have another giant creature on the board getting double strike. As you can see now, the Neheb the Worthy is a 10 first striker. So unless I'm able to do something here, I'm going to be losing Samet, which, I mean, in the end, doesn't really matter at this point. Might as well just finish the match. There we go. As you can see, I'll be getting 2 of the jewels for this. There we go. Move right into the next one. Stick with Koth. Now, just for some fun, I might switch it up to Samet, just to show you my deck that I use right now. I honestly haven't used her in a while, but we'll take a look at her after I get a couple more games under my belt here. Was able to get the Graphstone and the Fevered Visions out. Fevered Visions is great in this deck. I mean, not only for the couple extra damage that you're getting every turn against your opponent, but especially for the extra card draw. So as you are playing all of those cards off of Olivia, you're keeping your hand full and you don't have to worry about losing a card that you don't want to. There we go. Even though we started at less life than max, we are back to full now. Going to be getting Glorybringer out on the board, and hopefully followed right up with a Decimator. Now I normally would bring Samet out in place of the Glorybringer. Obviously he's already on the board. I'm not going to change it up now. But I will still make sure that Samet isn't the last card in my hand. Hopefully, yep. It's very nice of him to set me up some extra red gems there. So Decimator's coming on the board now. I'm not too pressed to get another Olivia out on the board, so what I'm going to do is start building my ruins, and if I need it, that gives me, second ability, third ability if possible. Obviously not going to need it for this match, but there we go. Nice, quick, easy. Going to jump right into the next match. And see what Saheeli has for us. Okay. Now the mirror pool isn't really anything special to use on Lightning Runner. Not a bad thing to do, but not exactly ideal either. So I'm just going to save that mirror pool. Still try to get my Lightning Runner out. Start getting some energized gems on the board. Now with him, the combos are endless. Getting or making anything bigger is always better, especially himself and Olivia and the Decimator. So we are going to go this way. There we go. And as you can see, how quickly the board energizes with him, how quickly he can grow himself. And even with that rattle chains on the board, this match should still be over fairly quickly. I would definitely say Lightning Runner is one of my favorite cards to come out in the last few sets. All of the earlier sets were so strong. Innistrad, even Origins, and Battle for Zendikar, just extremely strong sets. I did like Amonkhet, but the other later sets, not nearly as strong, not nearly as fun. So the cards that you could get from there that were fun and are strong are definite bonuses. Samet is strong, but she's almost useless in a lot of decks unless you're running green to grow gems on the board, just because of how much she costs. And don't get me wrong, she's a great card. She's fun to have. But other than her activation, she doesn't really do much. Whereas cards like the Lightning Runner, pretty much doubling everything's power and toughness every single turn is huge. Decimator, giving everything else on the board trample and berserk. I mean, just awesome, great idea, abilities. Olivia, giving everything that enters play that lifelink and flying, and the +3 obviously, but just a lot of fun things. And with only having 3 creatures on the board, I don't see it as a negative to have one specific creature that you need to get rid of. A lot of my friends on the game, and especially the people that don't have Olivia, don't like her. But anytime I've ever played her, it definitely added a level to my game. I mean, I've been beat by her more than enough times, but there's also been even more times that, yeah, I expect her to come out. She should come out. She's one of the best cards in the game. You should be prepared for her. You should have to prepare for her. And as long as you do prepare for that instance, you kill her, you take her off the board, and you move on, and you win the game. I mean, in all reality, that's the way Magic's supposed to be played. And to me, I mean, that's what makes the game even more fun. Not sure. I want to get Olivia out as soon as possible. As always. Now, if I get a card that I don't really want to discard, then I will probably play Fevered Visions first, which I'm going to. So, gonna go this way. There we go. Worked out for the best. We built up some of his abilities, and we still got a couple towards Samet. Still want to get Samet and Glorybringer out before other things happen. So we're going to work towards that. Beautiful. It's always great to have a play where you can get ruins and a colored match in the same turn. And a double bonus when you can bring all 3 of your creatures out, and by the 5th turn, Nahiri will be dead unless she does something pretty amazing, which, I mean, Decimator's great, but he would have been a lot more great if the AI would have played Gisela first. So, I mean, hopefully that's one of the improvements that they can kind of tweak or touch up on, is getting a little bit better AI. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the AI is pretty decent, but when you're playing creatures before mirror pools, that's a huge thing, and I'm not too much into coding, and, don't know how difficult it would be, but just by looking at equations on an Excel spreadsheet, it should be pretty easy to add in specific factors of specific cards that you need to play first before you play creatures, because with the AI in the game, it's always generally creature first. So, definitely doesn't need to be that way. I am going to play around with Samet just taking a look at the deck to see what I got going on here. I believe this is a complete Type 2 deck. We'll leave it Type 2, see what we get. If we lose one, no big deal. I love Salmon as a planeswalker. I think she's one of the most stable, best planeswalkers to bring because you don't need to use any specific cards with her. She gives double strike. She gives extra power. You don't have to worry about having energized cards or cycling cards in your deck. She's a planeswalker that can stick around. Definitely worth getting. There hasn't been very many planeswalkers that I would suggest lately, but she is definitely one of them. Okay. Let's see if we can get rolling here. Want to make sure we don't let that go off too early. If you don't know, that card pretty much makes all of your creatures unstoppable, but it also kills them at the end of your turn. So it's definitely something that you want to use at the end of the match to finish the match, or in a complete desperate situation. Each creature you control gains Trample, Preserve, First Strike, Prevent damage, and is reinforced. And then at the end of your turn, everything's destroyed. So, like I said, definitely got to be careful with it. Still a fun card to have. I think I'm just going to rush to her third ability. And it's going to be a close match, but hopefully overpower Saheeli and just finish the match before she can do anything too badly to me. So as you can see, she's at 87 right now. And what we need to think about is how big can we make all this happen? So every time they attack, she's going to get an extra 8 damage against her. Right there's 24 damage. That brings her down to 63. Now if we double everything, if we reinforce everything, that's going to make Gaia's Revenge a 32. So what I'm going to do is use Glorious End and hopefully make this a glorious end. So that is how we finish a match. And that is how you use Glorious End. Hope you all enjoyed that match. That was a pretty fun match for me, and it was really nice to see my deck work exactly how it's supposed to. It's always fun when you can see that. So, as you can see, we lost one match already. We already have all of our jewels that we can get, and we need to win 2 more matches to get our 30 crystals back. So if we win the next two, we won't even have to go into the third node, or the fourth node. You see we have Animus Awakening in my hand. What you want to try to do with Animus Awakening is play other gems on the board that aren't green gems when you know you're going to be putting Animus Awakening on the board. The more green gems you have, the more it does, the more it gives you. So, knowing that, I'm actually going to play the black one here. And as you can see, it activated more green gems, got them on the board. Didn't work out for me in the end, but it happens. I am going to get another charge here, which works out great, because we're also going to use the Chefette monitor, get some more green gems.